7 o'clock in the morning. That is when this video will be released. I am recording this Sunday night. Has the move been made? I'm not going to hold my breath. What is up, Fin fans? How's everyone doing on this Monday morning after an abysmal game? So bad. Like, so bad. So there's some things I want to talk about in this video. Obviously, you saw the thumbnail. Shout out to my guy, Jordan. He makes, like, if I don't have the time, like, I make the, yep. I make the preview thumbnail. I make the live stream thumbnail. What other thumbnails I make? I make the picks video thumbnail. I make a bunch of thumbnails. And Peyton gave me the templates, another one of my guys, to make those. But when I'm like, oh, I have an idea for a video, I can't really think of a good thumbnail, I just hit up my guy Jordan. I'm like, Jordan, this is what I'm thinking of. Mostly on Mondays, and he's like, I got you. You should have saw the first one he made of this thumbnail. It was Stephen Ross. I had an hourglass with McDaniel and Greer in the hourglass, but we went with this one because it was kind of, you couldn't really see who was. He does fantastic work. Him and Peyton, my two graphics guys, I love them. They're beautiful human beings, and they suffer just with us. So anyway, I'm rambling real quick. Shout out today's sponsor, Sleeper. Go check them out. If you're miserable and you're like, this team sucks, go have fun on Sleeper. You get a free $20 entry, no deposit needed. Also, use the promo code, you get 100% matched up to $100. Go have fun. You gotta be 18 or older, obviously, but go have fun. Go knock yourself out. We're gonna talk about what the crap is going on. Again, if news breaks today, because I'm making this at 7. So maybe the news already broke and this is out and you're going to be like, Doug, it happened, you big dumb. Whatever. Obviously you're going to get 2 videos today. But as of right now, I am done holding my breath with Stephen Ross and Tom Garfinkel and them doing the right thing. So I just really quickly want to go over some of the things that were said yesterday by Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa that was kind of like, oh, geez, Louise. And then we'll go into the draft order. We'll go into some things here and there. I'll explain some things for you, ladies and gentlemen. First off, thank you. For real though, I said it yesterday in my post game. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not going to stop live streaming the games. I'm not going to stop covering the team. I'm not going to stop with my schedule of, obviously you're not going to get a film breakdown tomorrow. Maybe I'll do something different because it will get copyright claims. So to the patrons, you will get a film breakdown tomorrow. But in all honesty, do you want to see one or do you want to see something else? I'm not going to stop doing the picks. I'm not going to stop doing the previews. I'm not going to stop doing anything because I love doing this. I love you guys. And eventually this will turn around. I suffered through 1 in 15, not 1 in 15. I did suffer through that one, but I wasn't doing this. I suffered through 2019. We can get through this together. Hit the subscribe button. I got like 20 new subscribers off of yesterday. So I love you guys. Anyway, so let's get into this real quick. Kim Bokamper came out and he said on Tua's performance, maybe the worst game I've ever seen by a quarterback in the NFL. Ball slipping out of his hands, couldn't handle the ball, interceptions. I never thought I'd see a game like this. Also, Kim Bokamper said, this was yesterday after the game, he saw Dolphins owner Stephen Ross and CEO Tom Garfinkel walking down the hall and not looking happy. Obviously, the MFers should look happy because we sucked. It's horrible. McDaniel said, this is what Mike McDaniel said yesterday. McDaniel said players' frustrations prevented the Dolphins from executing versus the Browns. He praised Miami's defense for not quitting despite several opportunities to do so in the second half. I just want to repeat what he just said. I want to repeat. That's not even proper English. He said players' frustrations prevented the Dolphins from executing. I don't know if you heard that, but to me it sounded like you lost the locker room. if players' frustrations prevented the Dolphins from executing. To me, it sounded like you lost the locker room. And when your head coach when your head coach loses the locker room, he also said the effort was there, the execution and discipline, these things lead to losing football. You know who's in charge of the execution and discipline? You, Mike McDaniel. You. Tua said the operations, including players going the wrong way out of the huddles, must be better, and he can't put his finger on one thing causing the problems. He said, like Al Golden, he said it all starts with me. Mike McDaniel also said, you do hard trusts in the league. You are always held accountable for your performance, and you coach through tape. I have no problem telling the truth about tape. Either you accept it and rise to the challenge, or you subject yourself to the same failures. It's all of us. I don't think anyone is spared from accountability. Talking about being fired, he said, I find it very offensive to all parties involved if I'm thinking about having a job. I need to be doing my job. I refuse to spend my time thinking about being fired. Also said, we found a different way to undo our game. There's a lot of guys that will have an important work week because if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, I don't have a choice but to assess a different player, and I have a coach. I have to coach a lot better as well. So we're going to find out who and what we are made of. So is he going to start benching players? Because Jonah played very bad. Tua played very bad. The defensive front played very bad. Like, is he going to start benching players? Like, is Quinn Ewers starting next week if Tua continues down this stretch? On Quinn Ewers as well, promoting him to quarterback 2. He says it was much more about him and what he was doing on the football field. I thought he gave us the best chance to win. That man came in the game, I think it was like 31-6 when he came in the game in like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And what did you, I thought he gave us the best chance to win. To win what? Hot dog eating contest? What are you talking about? Got a little stat here for you too. Tua has the most 2+ interception games in the NFL since 2022. He has done it 12 times. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. So before I go into my spiel and talk about kind of my thought process and yada yada, I just want to show you guys this. And this is the Tankathon. Right now, the Miami Dolphins have the 2nd overall pick. The New York Jets have the 1st overall pick because they have won a game. Here's the thing. The lower your strength of schedule is, the higher your pick will be. So if you notice, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Tennessee Titans, the Baltimore Ravens all have 1 win, but they all have higher, they all have higher strength of schedule. Meaning they should be losing because they are facing harder opponents. Whereas the Miami Dolphins have a lower strength of schedule, not by much, by Baltimore, which means they should be beating these teams. And the fact that they aren't is why they have the higher draft pick, because they suck that much more. If the New York Jets win 1 game and the Miami Dolphins continue to lose, the Miami Dolphins will get the number 1 overall pick. So it's about the Jets winning 1 more game and the Dolphins not. Essentially, if the Dolphins and the Jets end the season with the same winning record, the Dolphins get the better pick because they have the lower strength of schedule. So essentially, Miami will get the number 1 overall pick. As of right now, it's between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets to who's getting the number 1 overall pick and who is taking what. It's a little too early to say who the best player in the draft is and who the number one player should be, whether it is Mendoza, whether it is the pass rusher from Miami U, whether it is the tackle. Let's real quick. Just look at their big board real quick. So is it Ruben? Is it Caleb Downs? Is it Peter Woods? Is it TJ Parker? Is it Jordan Tyson? No, probably not. Jeremiah Love? Is it Mendoza? Like, who's going to be the number one overall pick? It's too early to tell. Too early to tell. But that's where we're at right now, right? That's where we're at. So I just want to talk about that. Now let's talk about the big fat elephant in the room. Will Stephen Ross make a move? Will he fire somebody? And I know the big thing is, and the big talking point is, what is him firing somebody going to do? For me anyway, and I don't know if this goes to the same for other Dolphin fans, it shows that he cares. Right? I'm not going to read the stupid letter he put out in the beginning of the year because I did already in that previous video. But how many Monday morning videos do I have to make talking about this organization and how dysfunctional they are? And how much time and effort do I put into giving you guys data, giving you guys research and talking about this and that? And, you know, you have me, a Miami Dolphin fan with a bachelor's degree in film and media, who also played some football, sitting here saying, and obviously Jonah is the one I was banging the table for, and so far it's a horrible pick. He can get better. But you have like Quinn Miners, right? Who I wanted the Dolphins to take. They ended up taking the tight end out of Boston College. Honestly, I don't even remember his name. In the third round of that draft. You have Creed Humphreys, who the Miami Dolphins decided to trade up in the second round, lose a future second round pick to take Liam Eichenberg instead of staying pat and taking Creed Humphreys. Both of those offensive linemen are top offensive linemen in the NFL. Who else? There's another guy that they could have taken. And I like Chop, but Gray Zabel, I think that was the same year when we took Chop. This is what I'm talking about with, you have guys like me who, you know, we do our research, right? We have our 5-subject notebook that's filled with research. We look at tape and we watch the combine and we do all this research and we're like, this guy's good. He's going to be good. And Chris Greer's like, F you. I'm going to take Noah Igbinoghene. I'm going to trade down with Green Bay, and I'm going to take Noah Igbinoghene instead of Jonathan Taylor, instead of, I think, Grant Delpit was that year. And obviously we took Javon Holland, so it is what it is. But you see what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to take Noah. Right? Or you can look at any of his other moves where all of us are like, oh, blah, blah's on the board. Take blah, blah. He's ranked, you know, he's ranked 40th and we're picking 60 something. Take him. I'm going to take the guy who's ranked 80th because he's high on my board. And I just, or better yet, Brandon Jones, who we take right out of Texas. I think Texas Tech. And I think it was a 3rd round pick. Plays all right with us. Goes to this, you know, we're not going to sign him. We're not going to bring him back. We're not going to bring him back. We're not going to bring Andrew Van Ginkel back. We're not even going to give him a contract. We're not going to bring Deshaun Elliott back. No. What is this, 2024? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like, these are all the decisions. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some good decisions thrown in there, right? Because he did draft some of these good players, but again, he lets them walk. They deserve to test free agency. That's the kiss of death from Chris Greer. I haven't gotten to McDaniel yet. So, again, 9 years. Then you got Mike McDaniel. You know, first 2 years, very promising. 2022, 2023, 2024, what the crap? Now we're sitting here at 1-6. And again, you fire him, who's the interim head coach? Me personally, I think, and you guys know, I met him twice. I've been down to training camp. I like Darrell Bevell. He's done it before as the interim head coach. I think he would be very good at that. And especially if you want to, essentially sit Tua down and have Quinn Ewers, why not have him as the head coach who knows we need to focus on this and help him develop and grow? But it's time to pull the plug, right? It's time. And I know some fans are like, why do we do this? We do this constantly and we don't let things develop and blah, blah, blah. Here's my thought process. And I apologize. I keep clearing my throat. Here's my thought process on why. If there's a chain of events that continue to happen, it's not going to change, right? It's like insanity. You keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result, right? 2022, 2023, we went up. Give Mike McDaniel contract extension. If you notice, I didn't balk at that. I didn't say this is dumb. Back-to-back playoff years. 2023 was fantastic. If it wasn't for the injuries, who knows? Why not? But then you start 2-6, and now you start 1-6. See what I'm saying? You give him another year, he's most likely going to start 1-6 again, and then you wasted time. Right? Stop wasting time. It's the same thing with me talking about drafting Mendoza or drafting a quarterback. Last year I was talking about drafting a quarterback. I would be all for drafting a quarterback in the second round. I said that this previous draft. I would be, take a quarterback whenever you can because you never know. Tua is struggling bad. And like I said, how many times on these Monday videos, I think it's his mechanics. I think they're off. And I think it possibly could be his hip because the more he plays and the more hits he takes, that hip isn't going to get better. And I said this, if you go back in time to 2020, and I did my prospects, I talked about Tua and the things I liked, smarts and how he reads a defense and this and that. But I said his injury worries me. And I wouldn't be upset if they didn't take Tua because of his injury. Go back. And this is the best thing about doing this is all the things I say are documented. You can go back and listen to me say that. I was happy when we took him. And I even said to you guys, I love the pick. I think he could be something good. But that hip injury scares the crap out of me. Fast forward 5 years, the hip injury might be the thing. He doesn't drive the ball. His throws are sailing. They're too high, consistently too high. The interception to Devon Achane, it was too high of a throw. You have a little running back jumping up to try to get it. He tips it, interception, pick six. He overthrows Waller. He's overthrowing passes because he's not driving the ball with his hips. So there's that, right? It's time to pull the plug. So that is my thought process on this, right? Let's give him another year. This was the other year to give him. This was let's see if he can turn it around here. But guess what? You didn't have any money. And guess what? You didn't want to guarantee Tua would be here for 2 more years. So you didn't touch the $19 million that you could have got off of Tua's contract to fortify the team, to continue the success of 2023. Into 2025, obviously. You had a fart year in 2024, but you didn't want to do any of these things. Stephen Ross didn't want you to do any of these things. He wasn't going to open the checkbook and renegotiate and give players signing bonuses because Stephen Ross is like, no. I'm giving you another chance. You need to figure it out. So a lot of people were like, oh, this is a tank year. This is a tank year. They're going to be back. Both of these guys, Greer and McDaniel, they're going to be back in 2026. I'm calling it because you saw Stephen Ross give them another shot, but not baby them. Just like Chris Greer wasn't going to baby Cam Smith. So it wasn't that they're going to be back. It's that Stephen Ross is like, I'm taking away your life raft and you need to swim or you're going to drown. They're drowning. They're drowning. You got the Atlanta Falcons, the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, and the Washington Commanders. Now, the Washington Commanders right now, I think Jaden Daniels is dealing with another hamstring injury. Even with Marcus Mariota, they're going to beat us. The Miami Dolphins are going to go into their bye week 1-10. Then you got the Saints and the Jets, the next 2 games after that. That's what decides if you get the number 1 overall pick. You lose those next 2 games, you probably got the number 1 overall pick because you're not beating the Steelers. You won't beat the Bengals with Joe Flacco, right? If you had a better defense, maybe, but you can't, because their defense is hot trash as well. You're not and that's going to go from a Sunday night to a 1 o'clock game. You're not beating them. You're not beating Tampa. You might beat the Patriots at the end of the year because they might be resting starters. I think the Patriots are going to be 12-5, 11-6. I think that's how they're going to end their season because they're playing really good football right now. So this team is, I keep saying it's a 3-win team at max. But after the bye, you're going to see, do they want that number 1 overall pick? Is Stephen Ross going to finally be like, lose those games? I want the number 1 overall pick, and I want the pick of who I want. Because he supposedly, again, the rumor was he wanted Lamar Jackson. They didn't want to do it. And look at Lamar. Now, obviously, he's hurt now. That's the one thing you got to fear about with these mobile quarterbacks. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to make the move. Now, again, if I'm the owner, I'm firing them both. But then again, you fire them both. Who is making the decisions to trade assets? There's another video we're going to talk about on who's going to get traded from this team. Now, it's already been talked about that people have called the Dolphins about Jalen Waddle, and Chris Greer and the front office has said he's not up and we're not trading him. I think they'll stick with that. I think Devon Achane. I think there's a core group that they're going to keep. And I think that's something maybe Garfinkel and Ross has told down to them. Maybe even Brandon Shore have told down and said, you're not touching these guys. These are guys that we want to build with in the future. And I think it's Chop. I think it's Patrick Paul. I think it's Waddle. I think it's Devon Achane. I think it's those 4 guys. Do not touch them. We're going to build with them. Outside of those 4 guys, everyone's up. Now, obviously, if somebody calls and says, hey, we'll give you a 1st and a 4th for Waddle, he's most likely going to be traded, or we'll give you a 2nd for Devon Achane, he'll probably be traded. But unless you blow their socks off, I think those 4 guys are off limits. I think those are the 4 young players that you can build around. We'll see. And obviously, you got the rookies. Kenneth Grant's not going anywhere. Jordan Phillips isn't going anywhere. Jonah's not going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But outside of the rookies, those are your 4 guys. So we'll see how today pans out. If no one gets fired today, then they're going to wait till after Madrid. Like, in all honesty, they're going to let the next 4 games play out, and they're going to wait for after Madrid. And then they're going to go from there. That's honestly what I think is going to happen. But obviously, if I had to be a betting man, I think Mike McDaniel gets fired today. I've been saying this for how many weeks now? But you don't lose 31-6 to the Browns the way you did and keep your job. So we'll see. Does it happen literally an hour after I make this video at 8 o'clock? Does it happen noontime? Does it happen? When does it happen? But when it does happen, I will make a video for you guys talking about why I think McDaniel got fired. Where do we go from here? Who I think is the interim head coach, or I react to who the interim head coach is going to be announced. But how much longer, like I said, are we going to wait? Is it till Madrid? Is it till the bye week, like everyone keeps telling me? Or is Stephen Ross finally going to put on his big boy pants and say, this was the final straw and you're gone? And then it's only a matter of time till Chris Greer's fired. You might see Chris Greer get fired at the bye. And then a lot of people will say, why would you let him trade players away? I think it was the Jets. It was some team let the GM draft and then fired him after the draft. Comment below if you remember the team that did that. So you never know. But I got 9 people who I want for a GM, and I got 9 people who I want for a head coach. All of those videos are coming. So like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to sit here. We're going to suffer together. We're going to laugh, have fun on Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays whenever we play. I appreciate the hell out of all you guys. Again, to the patrons, if you want me to do film breakdowns, they'll be over there. If not, then I'll focus on putting something else out on Tuesdays here, because unfortunately they get copyright claimed. Or I just do them for free. Maybe I'll just do them for free and not get paid. That sounds like torture. That sounds like torture. I don't know. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I read the comments. Appreciate all you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Or see you later today. I'll see you in the next one. How about that? Like usual, stay classy. If it's up.